My name is Avery, and I'm going to be counseling you through a behavior change. What behavior change are you trying to make?
Well, the last probably year or so, I've put on weight and I've had some issues with either allergies or their breathing issues. So I figured if I were to lose some weight and maybe start doing some small exercising, whether it's walking or something like that, it might help with my overweight and my breathing problems.
Okay. Um, how do you plan on making this change further on?
Well, my plan is to go on a low carb diet and maybe to start walking, counting my steps. I don't know, drinking more water. I drink a lot of diet pop and I have a really hard time curbing that. So I've tried to incorporate water into my daily routine, but I haven't really done as well with that as I would like. So
So what you're saying is started drinking more water, but you're also still drinking just as much diet soda as you were before.
that would be my guess.
Okay, and you're you have you cleaned out your cupboards and your refrigerator of all the carb filled foods?
We at this particular time we have very little carbs. Such we've pretty much gotten rid of the potatoes and the breads and the pastas and that sort of thing. So I've tried to incorporate more green vegetables that we didn't really eat. And I'm not much of a fruit eater, but I've been making us protein breakfast drinks with celery and maybe blueberries in it, and um, to help with the morning. And recently I have quit eating like a low carb breakfast, and we've switched to just doing the protein shakes for breakfast, and then trying to have a small lunch, and then probably a medium dinner. But the dinner, there again, we are not trying to do any carbs. If I make like a coleslaw or something like that, I use Splenda rather than sugar. We've gone pretty much to almost entirely sugar free. So anyway,
Okay. Uh, do you have any specific goals that you have set for yourself on making this behavior change?
well, I have set a goal of walking at least 10,000 steps a day. And when I first started, my phone would track the steps, and it really wasn't. After about 2 weeks, it quit counting, and no, all the apps that I tried, none of them would work. So you had suggested that I maybe get a watch that would count the steps, and I have just within the last week received that watch, and it seems to be working well. I have a friend whose spouse had recently passed away, and she's been wanting to get out of the house, so she's been walking with me almost every morning except for when things come up. The weather a lot is dependent on the walking, which is kind of bad because there's no place indoor around here to walk. So um, hopefully I will keep that up, and it will help with the breathing and the weight loss.
Have you ever thought of maybe using a treadmill indoors on the days that it's bad, or even the elliptical or something similar to that?
I haven't, but that's a good suggestion. I think that my daughter has a treadmill. Maybe I should borrow that, so when the weather's bad, that would give me another option. Although there is a gym in town, and I've never really looked into anything like that
Yeah.
because I might only be able to go for for 5 minutes before I'm dying, so it would be kind of embarrassing.
It's understandable. That's, have you had any challenges during your journey besides the diet soda?
Well, challenges like I'm a real popcorn eater, and so that's something that's really been difficult for me to not have. So I had to just actually remove it from the house, because if it were here, I'm sure I would pop some popcorn, and I just don't have a little bowl of popcorn with just like seasoned salt. I have a big bowl of popcorn with lots of butter, because that's the only way you should eat popcorn.
So kicking the cravings by just booting it out of the house, I think that works.
Well, it definitely helps, because if I want it, I'm going to have to drive 2 miles downtown to go find it.
Yeah.
So.
Who in your family or in your life has been motivating you and helping you to make this change?
Well, you have been helping me and motivating me some, but my husband has had problems with his back and overweight, and I felt that helps him also, because he's not getting any of those foods because they're not in the house.
Yeah, so motivating him, but is also motivating
Right,
you.
right.
Okay.
I'm motivating myself to help him also.
Yes. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in making this behavior change?
Well, I'm actually pretty confident that I can do this, although, you know, there's uphills and there's downhills, and I think people, when they get to a certain plateau and you aren't losing any weight or anything, you kind of get discouraged, and I'm not really sure how to get around that. You know, as far as being discouraged because you're not losing weight, even though you're still not eating very many calories or no, you know, minimal carbs and sugars and that sort of thing.
So changing your diet has been kind of discouraging because you haven't lost the weight you thought you wanted to?
Yes.
Okay. So how can I help you to not become as discouraged?
You know, I'm not really sure if maybe you could come up with, I don't know, a different type of walking exercise or a different type of menu, something that might be able to incorporate into my low carb that might be different that I hadn't thought of. I'm not really sure.
I think that I might be able to help you come up with some other exercises that you could do indoors.
Oh, okay.
And possibly with your husband,
Sure.
depending. So, okay, well, thank you for your time.